Alrighty, we'll go ahead and get started. I want to let everyone know that we are recording today's session. We are in a hybrid model with our Marana Insights this month. We'll be excited next month to be back at the Northwest Fire Training Facility. So you can plan on attending there for the July. That'll be our new fiscal year. We've done this for the last 6 months, for the last 6 months of our fiscal year, and starting July, we'll be back in there. So thank you for attending today. My name is Amanda Wiggins, and I have the honor of serving as the Marana Chamber of Commerce president. So thank you very much. I'm very glad to be here, and even more glad that you guys have all made a commitment to be at this program. It's one of the most important things I think our chamber does for the community, really connects the leaders in our community to our businesses. We also do record this, and that's kind of why this hybrid model has worked for the last 6 months, is because the recording is just really spot on with the presentations being visible for the people who rewatch this. So we post this on our YouTube channel and all of that. So just want to say welcome and thank you for being here. I'll highlight a few of our upcoming events at the end of this program. But to kind of give you a feel of who's in the room and who's virtual, I'm going to introduce Jenny Huffman to come and get our program started with introductions. She is the owner of Imagine Realty Services and an incredible piece of our chamber. And thank you for being here, Jenny.
Thank you. Okay, let's start with online people. Again, as Amanda said, my name is Jenny Huffman. I'm the owner broker of Imagine Realty Services.
Well, good morning, everyone. As I said, my name is Rueben Nunez. I've been a police officer now for 38 plus years. Started my career with the Tucson Police Department, and I've been with Marana. It'll be 11 years this September. It's gone by really fast, but it's been a lot of fun. I have the honor and the privilege to serve and support the men and women of the Marana Police Department who serve and protect the community here. And it has been a fantastic job. I've really enjoyed myself. And that's why the last 11 years have gone by so fast. So on the screen here, I wanted to show something that I'm really proud of. Just to the right of the mayor's head is that little decal, a little round decal. That means that we are an accredited agency through the Arizona Law Enforcement Accreditation Program. Very proud of that designation because it means that our practices, what we do and how we do them, are following best practices. It means that our training and our policies are in sync with everything that we do. The reason that's important, and the mayor can attest to this, is lawyers who represent municipalities really seek out those agencies that have that accreditation because it's just easier to defend our actions if you're following best practices. So we're into our 4th year now of accreditation. And the way it works, ladies and gentlemen, is we have assessors from around the state who are selected on a yearly basis to visit different departments and assess, look at their policies, look at their practices, and you actually have to have proofs that you're meeting these standards. There's 175 standards that we have to comply with. So really proud of that. The next one, Amanda. I really like this saying here. So this was said 59 years ago by Senator Robert Kennedy, who was the U.S. Attorney General. He says, every society gets the kind of criminal it deserves. And what is equally true is that every community gets the kind of law enforcement it insists on. Now, at the time that Bobby Kennedy wrote this, he was addressing a Senate subcommittee that was looking at organized crime. And these words ring so true and resonate today as they did 59 years ago. Because that, ladies and gentlemen, is what community policing is about. It is what you expect of your police department, right? And at the time when he was talking about this, they were talking about organized crime in the New York area, where people knew who was dirty, who wasn't, but they weren't speaking out. In this community, I'm proud to say that we work as a group, we work as a team. And that's why we enjoy the low crime rates that we have and the prosperity that we're experiencing in our town. So I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was really important. It's ironic, however, that that was said 2 months prior to his brother, John F. Kennedy, being assassinated in Dallas. Our mission statement, very simple: unparalleled service, unwavering protection, and doing all that with uncompromised integrity. That has been our mantra for the last 10 and a half years. And it means that We want to be the best at what we do. Unparalleled means we're the best. Our men and women out there demonstrate that every single day. Unwavering protection. You know, we talk about this a lot. What exactly does that mean? Well, when you're working midnights and it's cold outside and you're driving in your car and you see an open garage door, it'd be easy to just pass it by, right? Because you don't want to get out of your car. But our men and women don't do that. They'll get out. They'll go contact the owner, say, hey, your garage is open. Is there anything I can do to help you? And that kind of stuff. So it's those little things that make it the special department that it is. So challenges ahead. And this is really hard to read from here, Amanda. I am having a hard time. Can I put them on top of these? So I put this list together, ladies and gentlemen, and this is actually challenges for law enforcement across the country. But homelessness is a societal ill that we're dealing with. Mental illness, again, is part of that. Drug overdose and addiction. You know, last year we lost over 100,000 people due to opioid overdose death. And those three top things are tied into what we're seeing across the country, soft on crime policies through our county attorneys and our district attorneys. If you've been following the news, you've seen that in Los Angeles, DA Gascon, they're looking to recall him. You saw that the DA in San Francisco get recently recalled. And of course, Philadelphia and New York and other areas as well. We too have an issue that we're dealing with on those issues, but we've sat down and we've talked to our county attorney and addressed our concerns with some of the policies she implemented here in the last year. So we hope to get some things done through her. And of course, attracting and recruiting and retaining professionals in an anti-police environment. Again, that's not the case here in the town of Marana, but nationwide, that seems to be the trend. A lot of it has to do, and the mayor and council member can attest to this, is that the anti-police sentiment that started with the defund the police has had a huge impact on the policing profession that we start to feel here as well. It used to be, and you can attest to this, where we would have, 10, 15 applicants come in. Now we get 3, 4 at a time. And a lot of it has to do with what young people perceive as there's no gratitude in policing. There's no appreciation in policing. Again, in this town, we're very fortunate because we don't sense that. It's been wonderful working here in the town of Marana. But I can tell you, having worked for the city of Tucson, things were different. Things are really different. So those are the challenges. I don't know if I had another slide. This was really quick. I wanted to tell you kind of the state of the department. We have an authorized strength of 109 officers, sworn officers, and 31 non-sworn. We also have a fabulous volunteer program run by my officer here who does a great job. We have what, 31?
Yes, approximately, I think around 30.
30. Fantastic individuals, each and every one of them. They are always out there. Yesterday, we had a train that was stopped on the tracks, and we had our officers out there doing point control, and they came out there immediately to help us out. And that's just a normal thing that they do.
Yeah.
They love being with us. They love working with us, and we love having them on the team. So like I said, we're at 109. I'm about 12 positions short right now. We got several open processes for laterals and new hires. We're doing oral boards right now for some more new recruits that we hope to send to the academy in October. Other than that, any questions?
Well, maybe Chief, you'd introduce her again. Maybe could you speak to a little bit about what is going on with the Citizens Police Academy?
Yeah, so
And if you want to get over here, just so
Okay.
our everyone can see.
Yeah, Monica, please stay here.
I can bring a chair right here. Chief.
Oh, we get to sit together.
Yeah.
So our Citizen Police Academy is an 11-week program. We might be taking it to a 10-week program. And it's a time for the citizens of Marana to come in and learn all about our police department, because there's a lot to us that a lot of people don't see. I brought our schedule and everything that we do teach, and it's DUIs, mental health, Counter Narcotics Alliance, our canines, our records department. So even our non-sworn personnel come in and teach about what they do. We have our dispatchers come in, and one of our most favorite classes is our crime scene unit comes in, and they give a great presentation about everything they do, because a lot of people really don't know what they do. And another one of our favorites is we come in on a Saturday and we split the day. Half the class goes to the driving course and they get to drive police cars and learn all about that. And then the other half goes to our virtual police range, and they get to go through scenarios that police officers get to go through as well, and they get to see what we do every day. It's a great program. We hear really good feedback about it, and I would say we have the best Citizens Police Academy. I can confidently say that because of the feedback we've received from the community. A lot of them go to Oro Valleys, they go to Pima Counties, they go to programs in other states. They've moved here and they always say you have the best Citizens Police Academy. And we always get great reviews of the presentations our officers put on. So I have 2 volunteers who help me run this. They kind of put it on, they do their own thing. They actually ran it back in Alaska, and they brought it here. A lot of the same things they did over there, they brought it here, and they do a great job. It's an 11-week program. We meet every Wednesday at 5 o'clock, and it goes till about 8:30. And so it's going down to 10 weeks because we're going to try to fit that Saturday into one of the Wednesday classes. But yeah, it's a really great program. I hear really great things about it every time we do it.
And it's a great opportunity to recruit people as well. So
yes.
Some of our graduates have become volunteers with the program, and some have actually tested for the police department. So it's a great opportunity for the community to see their police at work.
I think this last class, there was a female who's going to test with us. The prior class, we had a mom and dad, and their son lateraled over from TPD, and the mom is actually considering becoming a police officer. So we get a lot of people who become interested in police work or volunteer work with us, and it's because they never get to see that side of everything we do. It's more than just patrol, it's detectives, it's narcotics, it's SROs. They see all of that our department is made of. So it's a really, really good program, and I wish everyone in the town could go to it.
Absolutely. So Mayor, you've been here a while now. Have you ever seen a mother and son team on the police department?
Let's see, there's a mother and daughter right now in our police department that I'm aware
Yeah,
of.
the Kestersons.
And I don't know if I've seen a mother and son team, but I have seen a parent and child, both police officers, yes.
Good.
We have a few questions in the chat box if you want to unmute and ask them.
Jermaine here from Illuvian. A couple of questions. One of them, well, first of all, appreciate your service. Thank you for your assistance or protection of the community. And second of all, what are the age requirements to participate in the citizen event or police? Excuse me.
We say 16 because that's usually the age we allow people to come and take a ride along with parent approval, because we do try to encourage ride-alongs at the end of it. I don't think we've had anybody that young the past couple of years. I think 2 years ago we had a high school student, and it was kind of hard for her to come and get there because of homework and stuff. But 16 is the age. We see a wide variety from the normal age, I would say, is between 18 and 75. We get a good range.
And what's interesting also is the occupations they come from. So
yes.
In this last class, we had a couple that was there, and I believe the gentleman was an astronaut.
Yes.
He started out in the Air Force, and he became an astronaut. We've had, moms to doctors that participate in these things. So very interesting.
Jorge?
Yes, good morning again, Jorge, Interfaith Community Services. And again, yeah, first and foremost, thank you all very much for your service. God bless you and keep you safe. And so my question to you, you mentioned that as it relates to the challenges within the community, you have mental health, my question to you is, what mental health support do you have for fellow officers? What are things in place so that they can have, I guess you can say, self-care? Two of my very best friends have now retired from the police force in Phoenix. And so, they've had difficulties along the way. And so I'm just curious to know what type of things or help for self-care do you have for the fellow heroes of yours?
Thank you for that question, Jorge. Actually, we created a wellness program within the police department that also falls under a larger umbrella that the town offers. We have an EAP program, support program that all our employees can go to. But within the police department here recently, we created a wellness program that looks at 3 components of wellness. You got the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. And along those lines, we created a peer support group. Within the peer support group, these are trained individuals that can refer officers who are experiencing conflict or a crisis in their life, get them the right proper help that they need. We also just created a chaplaincy program within the peer support program for those seeking spiritual fitness. I'm going to unveil this for the first time in front of the mayor and the council member here. I'm also looking at renovating our patio and making it a kind of a meditation garden of sorts. I think it's important for our officers to have a place to go to meditate and just decompress. So we're working on that as well. But right now, it's officers talking to officers, having that openness and candidness about what troubles us. Another new program that we started is called No Belt Required. It is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu program that we recently implemented. Right now it's voluntary, but it's through the Eric Height Foundation. Eric Height was the officer that was killed in the Tucson Police Department 14 years ago. His wife, Noemi Height, created a foundation, and through that foundation, they've sponsored this Jiu-Jitsu program. I'm an attendant or a student as well. And it's a great opportunity for us to meet off duty, get a little exercise, and then just discuss things that trouble us. So it's a brotherhood, sisterhood type of situation. And I think all those things combined, Jorge, is what makes us what makes us better.
Oh, thank you. I agree 100%. And I really appreciate that, doing that for your team. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Alejandra has a question in the chat box.
Hello, good morning again, and thank you again for your service as well. Thank you. I just had a question about volunteers. Is there certain requirements for them? Because I know in my community, one of the biggest things is making sure that we're all connected and have those volunteer opportunities in different parts of Marana. So I was wondering what it was like if you wanted to volunteer.
So you have to be 18 to volunteer with us. And sometimes we do get people as young as 18 because they have a interest in a career in law enforcement, and they do that to kind of see what it's like as a volunteer. But yeah, people can start as early as 18 to be one of our volunteers.
We also have an Explorer program.
Yes, we have an Explorer program, which you can be an Explorer at the age of 14, I believe, all the way up to 20, right before you can apply to be a police officer. And the Explorer program puts them through different drills. They learn a lot of tactics. They learn a lot of laws. And a lot of that is more towards Marana's way of doing things. They'll learn our tent codes. They'll learn our way, pretty much our way of doing things, because there's other Explorer programs, but usually we get people who are interested in Marana's police department, and it gives them a really good insight on what to expect as a law enforcement officer and prepares them for the academy.
Yeah, and we actually have recruited a couple of officers through that program who are currently working for us as uniformed police officers. So it's a great program.
You have a question?
Yes, sir.
Do you have the problem that Tucson PD has about people joining the academy and then splitting later? Or is this more of a destination where you want to end up?
We hope it's a destination. I mean, that's what we strive for, right? And actually, I get an opportunity to interview every single applicant that comes through. And here just recently, we've hired a lot of lateral officers from both Tucson Police, from the Sheriff's Department and other agencies. And every single one of them, when I asked them, why Marana? They said, you know, Chief, we'll be at the jail and there'll be other agencies there and everybody's kind of getting through the day. And here comes a Marana police officer and they're smiling from ear to ear. Right? And I'm like, what is that Marana officer on? What's he taking that makes him so happy? And he says, it's just that joyous feeling we get when we're around Marana police officers that attract us to you. So what is it you're doing, Chief? And I said, let me tell you. So it's really just finding the right people that have that servant attitude and want to go out there and help people. And there's a lot of people out there. You just got to cultivate them and bring them in. And I think that's what we're doing. What's that saying? If you build it, they'll come. And that's what we've been doing.
I have two questions. This is Debbie Tucker again. When is the next series of classes starting? And I was confused on the 100,000 number that you quoted lost due to drug overdose. Was that in Marana, Tucson, or statewide?
That was nationwide.
Nationwide. Okay, thank you. And then the next series of classes?
The next Citizens Academy starts early September. We don't have an official start date yet. We're actually meeting next week to determine a start date, but it starts early September and it runs through the middle of November. We normally end right before Thanksgiving, the week before Thanksgiving.
Any other questions online or in person? I want to know, in the last 11 years, kind of what has been the biggest changes that you've seen in our community for your department?
In the last 11 years, we saw a transformation. I think the mayor and the council member would agree to this. It was just a transformation of the police department that really focused our efforts on what's important to the community. And as a testament to that, we have a brand new building, multi-million-dollar building, that I think is a testament to that relationship, partnership we have with the community. You know, we came to the mayor and council and we said, listen, we need a new police station. How do we do it? Here's how we do it. Mayor and council approved a half-cent sales tax. The community actually were all behind it 100%. And the mayor and council made a promise that this would sunset after 5 years. I think we had the money before that time. 3.5 years. And by the time we moved in, that building was paid for. Now, that's a huge testament to the support that this community gives us. And a lot of it has to do with the officers just providing unparalleled service, right?
And then additionally, I bet that it's really such an advantage for our community that the former police chief is now our town manager and you have a relationship with him.
That helps. That certainly helps. Yeah, so I worked under Terry as his deputy chief. So I've been here, like I said, 11 years. I came here, I think 6 or 7 months after Terry was first appointed chief. He also came from the Tucson Police Department. So we knew each other back then. And it was a great relationship, great partnership.
What can our community do to ensure that as we grow, as we become, more people, that we never are in a position that other agencies are seeing in their community, to make sure that we keep this no matter how large we are? What can our community do to support you?
Well, what they're doing now, absolutely. But it's, we have to keep our culture. We talk about our heritage and our culture. And, one of my fears, that kind of patterns what you're just saying here, Amanda, is as we grow, you have the opportunity to lose that culture. So we talk about it every single day. This is who we are. This is why we do what we do. And as part of succession planning, that's something that we really drill down to all of our employees so that when I leave, the next person that steps up will continue.
All right. So if there's no other questions, thank you so much, Chief, and yourself as well. I'm sorry.
Officer Espinosa.
Thank you.
This is Ashley.
I'm like trying to read your name back. Thank you so much. And I know in the 20 plus years that I've been in Marana, what I've seen with the police force here is so far superior to other places I've lived. So
Thank you. Thank you.
Keep going. So thank you again. So if you want to just stick around for our next speaker.
Yeah.
Please.
I just wanted to add, none of this would have been possible without the help of our leadership team as well. We get support from the council and the mayor and the town manager. So that really makes our job a lot easier. It allows us to do what we need to do. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Right, thank you.
I got super confidential stuff on that stick here.
Oh, I'll take
Maybe you
All
got
right.
that, right?
So our next presenter is Anne Marie Broswell. She's Community Relations Manager for Northwest Fire District. Welcome, Anne.
Hi, thank you. Funny story. I just started with Northwest Fire District. So I came to Northwest Fire District from Golder Ranch Fire District. And I've been in public relations in the region for about 15, 16 years. I obviously have a love for public safety and specifically the fire service because I just keep coming to it. But I called the chamber yesterday and spoke with this dynamic team who is so welcoming and warm and kind. And I said, I'd like to enhance our relationship with the Marana Chamber because I had a close relationship with the Oro Valley Chamber. And so I said, since I'm in this new role, what can I do to help? And of course, this fabulous team said, well, if you're up for it, we're having a meeting tomorrow. You can come by and introduce yourself. I said, sure. So I think I'm in good company because we're all up for just, jumping in with both feet. So my remarks are not as well organized as the chief's, but I'll say that I'm just happy to be here as the Community Relations Manager for Northwest Fire District. I'm thrilled to represent an organization whose mission is to save lives, protect property, and care for our community. And I feel like in my particular area of focus, I can really lean into caring for our community. It's very personal for me because I am a Marana resident. Big fan of Marana Police Department. In fact, I'm married to a Northwest Fire captain, and my 9-year-old daughter wants to be a police officer. So, yeah, I got all the bases covered. But as I was listening to Ashley speak so eloquently about the work that you do, and of course, volunteer service and academies with children, I thought I'm listening very intently because my 9-year-old is, itching at the opportunity to be just like you. She sees female officers and she gets so excited. So thank you for what you do. Thank you for representing law enforcement as well as you do because you're making a difference and you've made an impact for my family specifically because my daughter looks at you with a lot of admiration and pride. More to that end, I think the Northwest Fire District very much enjoys the partnership that they have with Marana PD as well as the Pima County Sheriff's Department. We can't do what we do without law enforcement partnership. As you've all seen, when we respond to motor vehicle accidents, medical emergencies sometimes, fire calls for sure, law enforcement responds with us, and sometimes they don't get the credit they deserve because while we're extending a big fancy ladder truck and extinguishing that fire and it all looks very glamorous, what you don't see is that there's law enforcement all around that scene, making sure that traffic is controlled, nobody's running over our fire hoses, that people are remaining as calm as possible. They're helping to orchestrate whatever needs for anybody that's displaced. So, and beyond that, the town of Marana is just really exceptional. I know just last week we responded to a residential structure fire where a resident needed help with their dogs and cats, and Marana was able to send animal resources to help with that. So at any rate, it's a pleasure to be a part of the Northwest Fire District family as an employee. As I said, my husband's an employee there, so I've been a member of the family for a while, but it's just taken on a whole new meaning now. And I know that Chief Bradley, our fire chief at Northwest Fire District, would love to do a presentation similar to like what Chief Nunez has done. He's done it in the past and he'd love to come back. As you can imagine, we sprang this on him yesterday. I said, Chief, guess what I did? And he's very supportive and said, great, go enjoy that. But I'll let you do it this time and I'll do it the next time when we've got more than 24 hours notice. So he's available. He very much supports all of our divisions in getting out into the community and looking for opportunities to collaborate. I'll share with you, if you don't know, we have 11 stations. Our fire district board is represented by 5 nonpartisan board members who are elected by our residents, and they serve staggered 4-year terms. What I share with people when they try to understand and appreciate the difference between a fire district and a municipal fire department like Tucson Fire is that a fire district's kind of like a school district in the way that they're managed. So if that helps provide a little context for people who may try to understand what the difference between the two is. While we're not a municipal fire district or department, we, as I said, enjoy very close relationships with the municipalities we serve with. So that's wonderful. Some of the things outside of fire suppression and emergency medical services that we provide that probably residents are more familiar with is an opportunity for things like smoke alarm battery changes. Your smoke alarms are your firefighters in your homes. So we always encourage people to change your smoke alarm batteries annually. And then the actual smoke alarm device, they have a 10-year life. And so generally speaking, you should change those about every 10 years. If you'd like somebody from the fire district to come and change those batteries for you, we can do that. The easiest way to manage it is to call 911, and then you'll explain it's a non-emergency. They'll route you appropriately, and make sure you've got 9-volt batteries on hand. We can handle that for you. In addition to the battery replacement, we're happy to remove our desert critters that we are less affectionate of, snakes being the #1 culprit. We won't send firefighters to do that. We have a close partnership with Animal Experts Inc. And so we'll send them and they'll relocate your slithering friend for you so that it's out of your immediate home area, walkway, etc. If it's in any way posing an imminent threat to you or your family, then we will send firefighters. But if it's just a snake in your yard and you'd rather not have it in your backyard, then we're going to send somebody from Animal Experts Inc. to you. Of course, CPR is something that's very important to us. And so if you go to our website, there's tons of information on the website, but on the website, there's an opportunity for you to log on and learn hands only, compression only CPR. So I encourage everybody to do that, especially hopefully in the summertime when you have a little bit more downtime. There's opportunities for that education. And we also offer station tours, truck demos, car seat installations and checks, babysitting classes for teenagers. All of this, like I said, if you just visit the website, lots of great opportunities for education. If there's something that you find on the website or don't find on the website that you have additional questions on, or you're looking for a resource, please reach out and call us. We want to be a resource for you. Our strategic plan is on our website as well. It's representative of plans and strategies for 2020 through 2024. So obviously we're looking to be closing things out here pretty soon, but staff and folks in the field have remained vigilant, marking off all those important goals and initiatives. So we'll be looking to do some additional planning here in the next few years. Lastly, our brand new beautiful administrative facility is right here in the town center, and we're thrilled. It's a beautiful new facility. It's your facility, so we encourage you to stop by and say hello. But we're excited to be in this new beautiful location and close to the town center. So I'll open it up for questions, but just my disclaimer is that I've actually been working now for 12 days. So if I don't know the answer, I'll find it for you. But yeah.
Any questions online or in person?
I just have a comment. Chief Keeley promised to be in office in your new building, and it's not set up yet, so
We got to get on that. Yeah, we got to get on that.
I brag about your facility to everybody. We have a beautiful town facility and a new police operations facility that I think are awesome, but your new administrative building is absolutely phenomenal.
It's beautiful. Thank you, Mayor. You're welcome to come by anytime. I'm sure Chief Bradley would happily step aside and give you a seat at his desk if you wanted it. Yeah, it's a phenomenal facility. Again, like Chief Nunez said, it's a testament to the support that we have from our wonderful community. Those things don't happen by accident. As a government agency, we appreciate and understand that takes time, energy, and a whole lot of trust from our community to allow us to build something like that. And when we do, it's exciting because it's more infrastructure, it's more of a footprint in a community that we really are invested in, and we want to demonstrate that in a real way. So the mayor's right. We love it. We know how fortunate we are. We're very spoiled.
And actually, can you talk a little bit about some of the accreditations that the fire department has the opportunity to achieve? And I know that Northwest has achieved several high-level ones on a national level.
Yes. So I know that if Chief Bradley were here, he would speak very intelligently to it, and maybe that'll be part of his presentation because these are initiatives that are very important to him. Two different things. We are accredited. similar to what Chief Nunez mentioned when he was talking about his law enforcement accreditation, there's a similar accreditation available for fire and EMS organizations. And we are fortunate through the hard work and diligence of our team that we've acquired the accreditation. And like Chief said, this is not something that's easily done, and it's not something that you can achieve, have that beautiful seal or distinction posted somewhere and then forget about it and put it on a shelf. It's a constant effort because, of course, you have teams of people and professionals that come and review the agency to make sure that you're still meeting and exceeding expectations with regard to what your systems are with emergency medical services, fire suppression. So it's pretty exceptional and it takes a ton of work, but it's something that, of course, the organization is very proud of. Additionally, I'm sure that you've heard that we have an ISO rating of 1. Essentially, what that means is for fire departments, fire organizations, there's an insurance rating that's applied to your organization. Largely, and I'm really speaking in broad strokes here, it speaks to infrastructure and water supply. Essentially, it's providing a rating so that the surrounding community who lives and is served by your organization has the assurance of knowing that you're resourced appropriately and that water supply is sufficient in order to have you do your job effectively with regard to fire suppression. Again, I'm really doing a Cliff Notes version of what an ISO rating of 1 means, but essentially, I think it's fewer than 10% of organizations, fire suppression organizations throughout the country that have that designation. And we're very proud that Northwest Fire District has an ISO rating of 1. Again, that's not something that's come by easily. It's a ton of work and energy in both, whether it's the accreditation or the rating. There's data that's cultivated annually, monthly, so that we can continue to demonstrate to the peers that come and evaluate us that this is something that's actively something that's being worked towards on the regular. And I'll tell you, for our hardworking folks that are at the fire stations and running the calls, they know the importance of this, and it's mirrored in every single response that they do. Funny enough, my kids do jujitsu, so when the police were talking about that, I perked up. We were at jujitsu last night when there was an injury with one of the participants. Northwest Fire District responded, and I just sort of, tried to sit quietly by and be a fan in the corner. But what I witnessed are very simple things that make all the difference. When that crew came into that jujitsu gym to care for that patient, they knew that it is the appropriate thing to remove your shoes before you go onto the mat. So these gentlemen, with all of their gear in an emergency response mode, took their shoes off and went onto the mat in socks and cared for that patient, and then took them off, put their boots back on, took the patient away. It's the little things, I think, that make a huge impact, because the public may not understand or appreciate all of the medical interventions that are taking place, but they see somebody who's in an emergency setting have the situational awareness and the compassion to say, I'm in somebody else's house, even if it's a business, and I'm going to do what I can to show respect for these people and what they're doing. And I think you can easily, there's stories like that time and time again, but the Northwest Fire District, it's demonstrated in every single call, big or small. There's a ton of pride in the work that they do.
Yeah, man, if I could just make a comment, we're holding an education day here at the Visitor Center on July 21st, and Anne Marie has been very helpful already in helping us coordinate someone from the Northwest Fire Department to come and talk about the safety side of the monsoon. So
what that program is, Sally?
We're calling it Monsoon Magic, and we've got someone coming from the National Weather Service who's going to talk to us about the meteorological standpoint of the monsoons. The second presenter will be for week 2, the Aqua National Forest. They're going to talk to us about how the monsoons affect the plants and the animals. And then our third presenter will be from the Northwest Fire Department. So we're putting all that together now. We'll have a flyer out. We've actually got some photography coming in as well that'll kind of coordinate the whole thing. So that's on the 21st of July.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. We appreciate the invitation. Yeah.
Can you share one of the things it made me think about something else? What is the dispatch process with these partner agencies, and how does that work?
Sure. So again, we can speak more specifically to this in future presentations, but just broadly for the general public to appreciate how this works, it's a really cool machine. So as it pertains to fire and emergency medical services, and then our friends from law enforcement can add in because there's going to be pieces and parts that are exclusive to kind of what they do. But essentially, if I call 911 right now, of course, somebody on the other end of the line is going to receive the call and of course start asking me a series of questions like, what's your emergency or what do you need? I'm going to provide them information based on my location and what my need is. As soon as that conversation begins with that call taker, they're at a computer terminal, very high tech. And so they're immediately typing in what they hear, which then provides prompts to them as to what the appropriate responses would be. For instance, if I indicate to them that I'm experiencing or witnessing a cardiac emergency, they're going to try to instruct me, if it's just me and the other individual, to help them get to a place where I can provide CPR, and they're going to coach me through that. And all those prompts that are coming in on the computer are providing guidance to the call taker, who then can pass that on to the calling party. So in the event that I need fire and emergency medical services to come to me, that dispatcher is going to know my location, and they're based on the location that I provide, they're going to be able to determine which jurisdiction I reside in, and consequently which jurisdiction would respond to me. So for instance, when I call from here, they know that, again, that address prompts them to know that Northwest Fire District is my provider, and that's who's going to respond to me. And that call then goes to that fire station, the closest fire station, which would be the one down here on the main street. When that call comes into the station, it's an automated alert in the fire station. It's a kind of computerized voice that's going to tell, it's a station alerting system that's going to tell the crew what the call is. They then, of course, quickly, safely get into their truck and then start coming to the call. When they're en route to that emergency call, they can continue to get updates from dispatch as the dispatcher's on the phone with the calling party, so that they can continue to prepare mentally and also the various tools that they may need for the particular emergency event that they're responding to. In the event that they're responding to something that's more severe in nature from an emergency medical standpoint, they may even begin to have additional conversations with a receiving hospital, et cetera, to provide additional direction. So once they arrive on scene, they're going to provide care. If it's a medical emergency call, know that you're going to get a fire response, a fire truck. People sometimes will call me and say, well, I was having a medical emergency and you sent a fire truck. Well, what was that about? All of our firefighters at the Northwest Fire District start, base level as a first-year firefighter. You're a firefighter and an emergency medical technician. And then you can advance and become a paramedic. So those firefighters on that fire truck are going to be able to provide some real life-saving interventions with the tools and the training that they have. They can escalate that, of course, with a paramedic on scene. And then once they've stabilized you, they can load you into an ambulance and take you. But the only limitation that fire truck has is really that they can't transport you to the hospital. They've pretty much got all the medical tools that they need to make a real impact within those first few minutes of your medical emergency. In the event, of course, that it's a fire call, similar, when that call comes into the dispatch center, they're going to know what jurisdiction you're in, and then they're going to send the appropriate provider, whether it's Northwest Fire or another. We enjoy a really great automatic aid relationship with both Golder Ranch Fire District and the city of Tucson. So in the event that we had something that grew in size or scale and it was very resource intensive and we needed additional resources, we have that seamless response through our automatic aid system where we can call on our friends at Golder Ranch or at Tucson Fire to send additional resources, whether it's staffing, trucks, all of that. So please rest assured that regardless of size or scale, and hopefully it's never anything catastrophic, you're well resourced as far as emergency response. Personnel as well.
Go to?
Our dispatch center is out of the city of Tucson Comm Center.
Okay.
So it's a little hub, and then of course as those calls are coming in and information is gathered, then they're sending it out to the appropriate responding agency.
Although I think if you call 911 from here, you'll get Marana PD dispatch, and they will transfer the call to the call center if they need to.
That's correct.
Because I think, don't they chief handle our
Correct.
911?
Because
we're a PSAT for
no.
primary service.
Okay.
So they would switch it over to the city would
And it happens at 8.
It's, yeah, second. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's a really integrated network.
Do we have any other questions from online or?
I don't see any in the chat box. Any questions? Okay.
Thank you so much.
Great. I have a quick thing. Little unique situation. We don't have Kurt Woody with us today, but I put his report in the chat box, and I'll have that. Our printer is offline right now, so I couldn't print it for you. But I would like to invite the mayor and council member Comfort if they want to share anything from the town. We always hear from Kurt Woody. I know the mayor's always prepared for something. We've got about 4 minutes. I'm sorry?
You want me to come in?
Please come over here. Yes. Got a few minutes. And again, I put it in the chat box, that report with the single family houses and permitting and all of that's in the chat box if you'd like to look at that report. Kurt sent it in his absence. And we have Mayor Honey here to close us out today.
Well, first I want to say this is a great meeting today. And one of the reasons that I think Marana does so well is personal relationships. I know the chief, I know Officer Espinosa, and Maria I've dealt with before when she was at Golden Ranch, and we'll look forward here is we're all friends here and we respect each other. Now, I'm not a police officer or a firefighter, and they're not elected officials, so we respect what the others do, but we work so well together. And I think it's a completely different relationship here. You know, and I'll give an example from the police department that we had a few years ago. There was a gentleman going down the freeway, a gentleman of color, and a Marana police officer lit the gentleman up because the lights were not working correctly on his car. It was a lady officer, may have been Ashley, but you know, the officer went up to the gentleman's car. He was from another state. And he was really concerned about how he was going to be treated and everything. The officer was so professional, you know, told the gentleman that his left light and brake light and turn signal were out, and she was concerned about his safety and all of that. That gentleman was it you? I knew there was a reason I liked it. Anyway, so it was Officer Espinosa, but he was so impressed with her professional attitude toward him that he went on Facebook and posted that, which I still have on my Facebook, by the way. And what that says is Marana is a good place to live. Our officers will treat you with respect. You know, that was something that has stuck with me forever. And I didn't realize, I've known Ashley for a long time, but I didn't realize it was her. But it says something about our community and what we do. You know, a little bit on the broader community. I think we've done 59 houses this month, and we're almost to the end of the fiscal year. We're going to be at about 1,200, which is 200 more than last year. But times are changing, folks. Interest rates are going up. I think some of this stuff is going to slow down. But Marana is a great place to work, and we will work with you. If you're part of the home building industry or you're building, we just approved a new apartment complex last night at a council meeting, and I think that's 7 now that are in some way of being constructed or approved in Marana. We have a new hotel going in at the mall, and we have a new one approved for Cortero. So that'll put us up to 14. Things are going well here, but the economy is getting ready to take a hit. And we are going to do whatever we can do responsibly. We've been very good to our employees. We're going to give some pretty good raises starting July 1. And we just did a rate study, and we want to make sure that we are paying what the rate is for the community. And we're really working hard. We've been blessed. We're doing really well. We were recognized by, and I don't know what the organization was, as the safest community in Arizona over 50,000. And we're about 57,000 people right now. That says something about our police and about our fire. And we don't have a municipal fire department, but Northwest Fire is pretty close to our municipal fire department. And I'm actually having lunch with Chief Keeley tomorrow. So we all are friends. We all interact together. So Marana's doing pretty well. We just approved our budget last night, $233 million. The first budget I was in on, to show you how old I am, for the town was 40,000.
Oh my God.
A little bit of difference.
A little bit.
And I'm getting a hook from Amanda, so that's it. Thank you.
No, that's incredible. Want to close out with just a few announcements. Thank you all for being here. Again, we will be at the Northwest Fire Training Facility for the next program, but this has been really incredible. We brought 25 people together in this format today, and we're excited to move forward with our other programming. We have a couple milestone events that I want to highlight for everyone here. These are businesses that are celebrating some anniversaries and some other great accomplishments. On the 23rd of June, we have Sandbrook Group that's celebrating their 17th year, and that is going to be at Noble Hops. That's a chamber member Sandbrook Group. So that is at 5 p.m. 4:30 is when the ribbon cutting is going to happen. So get there a little bit early. Then next we have Hot Works in Marana that's celebrating their 2nd anniversary. And that is a local gym we have. And that is Tuesday, June 28th. And that is at 1 p.m. And it's also the 4th Tuesday. So let's go celebrate Hot Works. And then we're going to have our 4th Tuesday mixer, and that this month is at the JW Marriott. So please mark those calendar dates. The next one I want to highlight for you is our incredible Marana Mornings program. That is always the first Wednesday of the month. That is going to be July 26th. Or no, I'm sorry, 6th. July 6th, the first Wednesday. And that's at Barnfire Grill. And that starts, get there 7:30, and we'll start the program. And it's really an incredible thing that I like to say is a magical moment of a lot of our members coming together, giving 30-second speeches about what they do. And it's just a really cool thing. So I hope that you'll attend that. And then Sally highlighted our Visitor Center Education Day. So we did one recently on a few of our backyard treasures with the Ironwood National Forest, the Sonoran Desert. We're going to do another one. We want to really use this beautiful facility we have to bring our community together and educate. So we have some education days coming up, and one of them is, a lot of us are not from here, and you hear this thing called a monsoon, and you're like, what is this? So we want to bring in some experts to say, what is a monsoon? And then some experts to say, how do you stay safe in them? So we're excited that you're here. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Jenny, for always being a part of this program. And with that, go forth and have a wonderful day. Thank you for being here virtually and in person.
That was new, but